Kasia, today we're going to be talking business, Polish business, and I think, having grown up in the 1980s in Poland, I understand how people that have got that image of Poland really don't get what an amazing hub of activity, business, startups, and all kinds of innovation Poland is. We wanted to talk about that a little bit to entice people to explore not just citizenship, but maybe traveling to Poland. Often people traveling from Australia or America or Canada think, oh, I'll go to Prague, I'll go to Vienna, I'll go to London. So Poland's not really on people's radar so much, unless we're talking about Krakow, which everybody knows is beautiful. But some of our clients that are in business have made Poland the center of, a hub, a real hub of where their businesses are registered. Can you tell us a little bit more about how Poland perhaps changed from well before you were born, from 1970s, 1980s until today? How can we change that image of Poland being grey and miserable and depressing, which is not?
It's not, absolutely. And I moved out of Poland 10 years ago, but I go visit my parents and travel every year for as long as I can. So literally every single year I go, I'm more and more impressed and amazed by how beautiful and amazing it is, but also just, how well developed and modern it's becoming. And I really compare Poland now to Germany, to other Western European countries. You can't really see the difference when it comes to economy and the development, but we still kept that beauty of raw nature and culture, architecture that's very old and diverse but at the same time, it's such a modern, vibrant country, full of well-skilled, educated people who want to explore the world, and job opportunities as well. And still the cost of labor is relatively cheaper than
cost of living,
the cost of living, of course, is relatively cheaper than other, European Union countries. So, and the location, it's Central Europe. So every time I go to Poland and then I come back to Australia, and my friends ask me how it was, and I'm like, I've been to Germany, I've been to the Netherlands, and then to Czech for 1 day, and Italy. Whoa, that many countries in in a few weeks. I'm like, yes, that's the best thing.
Because Europe's got such an amazing public transport system, and Poland in particular.
Also 15 international airports. So basically there is just a big international airport, every 200 kilometers in Poland, in each part of Poland. That's quite important, I guess.
Yeah, and I think the other thing I wanted to add is that next year, Poland will be celebrating its 20th year of membership in the European Union. And I think particularly since then, things have improved. And if you think about it, Poland didn't have to rebuild systems. They have to build them from scratch. So, when I was growing up, there were no phones. I think there was one phone for 10,000 people, or maybe 100,000 people, something ridiculous. So mobile telephony was the only way to go. So that very quickly became part of everyday life. I think you're absolutely right that Poles are hardworking, a clever nation. They put a lot of focus on education, on also ecology and sustainability. Before it was cool to be sustainable. In the rest of the world, we were sustainable, we were thrifty, we would recycle everything. So I think when you mentioned, the beauty of the country, people don't know that we have the sea up north and mountains in the south and everything in between. It's a very diverse place in terms of
rivers, lakes. Yeah. There's 7,000 lakes in Poland.
Amazing. Yeah. But we're meant to talk about business. So,
yes.
And I know you had a question for me. Go for it, Kasia.
Yes, so Eva, as a successful businesswoman,
Yes.
would you start another business in Poland if you were, not that busy here in Australia, in
Yeah.
Melbourne?
What a great question. So I'll say this, that Poland still has sort of old school bureaucratic culture. I think, when it comes to dealing with various offices, some things are quite frustrating. But I think in terms of taxation regimes and, just the freedom of being able to set up business and run it, all that infrastructure is there. This is why companies like Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, Apple have moved their back offices to Poland, yeah?
Yeah.
Because there's a young multilingual workforce that is very keen to work hard, but also have that life-work balance. There is a lot of innovation. There's lots of, the ecosystem of startups and tech companies is just amazing. People that are programmers or IT specialists, they make more money than in America because they're just so clever, so efficient. Mm-hmm. So in answer to your question, yes. Luckily, I don't have to. But we have more than 25 staff now in Europe, and most people are located in Poland. So we've managed to work through things like social security payments, which are quite scary when you first start and things like that. So I think it's a well-oiled machine, and I think it's fair to say that the Polish government is trying to simplify things as much as they can in terms of that, scary bureaucratic red tape bound monster that bureaucracy is. But yes, I would if I wanted to. Yeah, I think Poland's a great place to start up a business, actually. So, Kasia, just to summarize for anybody that's wondering, Poland is a great hub for startups, for technology, arts, very creative nation, very hardworking nation. There's several universities there. Graduates of those universities are ready to work, very keen to work. So if anyone's thinking about setting up a business or moving to Poland and working there, we would encourage them to explore those options, definitely.
Yeah, I would also mention that we have very stable economy.
Yes.
In Poland, yeah, and avoided that recession in 2008, and so that kept us going.
Yeah, I think until recently, for 27 years, uninterruptedly, the economy grew. I mean, Poland's in a bit of a recession at the moment, but, who isn't? Which country isn't? Mm-hmm. But unemployment's quite low, and
I think it's the second lowest in the European Union as of 2023. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah. All right. If you're thinking setting up business, moving to Europe, Poland's your place to go.